I fought like a warrior poet. I fought like a Scotsman and won my freedom. A Braveheart quote brought to you by I'm finally out of the hospital!
But are you going back to the hospital anytime soon?
Well, I was actually back there last Wednesday, and I'll be going again next week.
Tally ho, listeners, we're doing this in Scottish.
But are we really going to do that? Is it really sustainable?
It's not. It's not freaking. It's freaking not, because we're not Scotsmen. We're not proper Scotsmen.
When I do a terrible Scottish accent.
I am wearing a kilt though.
Are you? I'm actually wearing boxer shorts because it's about 1,000,000 degrees here in Switzerland.
1,000,000 degrees. How hot is it?
About 1,000,000 degrees, I just told you.
All right. We had, I don't know if you can see it, we had sun for the first time in forever yesterday, so I have those sunglass...
Oh, I thought you were showing me the giant reflection on your giant forehead.
That is funny.
That's actually about, I think, 34 degrees or 33 degrees. We've been having a bit of a heat wave
Celsius.
Here. That's Celsius, indeed.
To all you crazy Americans.
Which, if you want to figure out what that is in Fahrenheit, just go times 9 divided by 5 plus 32.
Is that the real thing?
Absolutely.
Who knows stuff like that? Unless you're the son of a chemist and a teacher.
Well, I guess probably people that need to, convert temperatures.
You just do that math in your head?
I mean, not in a flash of a second. If I need to, if my life depends on it, I can come up with the answer.
I couldn't, even if my life depended on it.
Pop quiz hotshot. It's 33 degrees.
I'd be like, we're all dead. This bus is going to crash. Sandra Bullock will die before her career even starts. By the way, on a totally unrelated note, whenever we talk, either talking or chatting, whatever it is, we have a tendency to use the phrasing cool beans a lot.
We do. I don't think we've used it in the show yet, though.
That's what we're doing now. It's cool beans. It might be the name of the episode, because we're saying it constantly.
Yeah, because cool balls would be a terrible name, because with this heat, that's definitely not what they are.
Have you considered lowering your balls into a vat of ice cubes and water during this heat to keep your remaining testy chilled?
It hadn't crossed my mind.
Until now.
I could do that and nobody would know the difference on the podcast anyway.
Maybe you'd be like, all the time.
Okay, Peter Griffin.
Cool beans. Anywho, I'm going to say that way too many times. This will be like the Paul Simon episode. Every time he says something, I'll say, chilled beans. Or something like that. Anyway, back to the cancer.
Cool beans.
How's that going?
Cool beans.
Cool beans.
Well, I'm not in the hospital, which is a nice thing, at least.
You're in your own apartment, aren't you?
I'm absolutely in my own apartment right now.
How's that working out for you?
Well, it's fine when I can use the fan. But I figured that might give us a problem with the sound to have like a podcast where the background is...
So you're going to look more and more gaunt, sweaty and cancerish during the course of this episode because it's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes.
Sweaty, that's for sure. More cancerous, I don't know. We'll just have to stay to the end of the episode to find out.
How's it going, Joe?
It's going pretty... Shouldn't we ask our audience how they're going first?
How you going or doing?
I guess we won't get the answer, but hello and thanks for watching as usual.
Hello.
Thanks for all the messages that we get on the YouTube page and some messages to the Facebook page and to Instagram page and to Jimmy page.
That's the worst joke I've ever heard. Yeah, there's a lot of messages, and it's very, very nice, both from people we know and people. Do you mind staying alive for this segment?
I just put some iced tea down the wrong cake hole.
Cool beans.
Thank you for your concern.
Yeah, no, you were sort of raining on my parade there where I was going to thank random people. But yeah, thank you so much for the messages. Very nice. We're happy to keep you entertained.
And speaking of thanks, there's a few people I forgot to thank in the last episode. I talked a lot about how great the nurses were, but so were the doctors. The doctors were all really nice, really competent, at least as far as I can tell since I'm still alive.
Well, you do still have cancer, so how competent can they be?
Well, that's true, but I've got less cancer than before, a little bit. Well, more cancer than like 5 years ago, but less cancer than 6 weeks ago or 2 months ago. But also, thank you. I mentioned pretty much every person I know and every person you met in Switzerland, and thanked them for coming to visit me. And I never mentioned that my family came.
Yeah, you did.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Did I mention that my brother came? I don't think so.
You didn't mention Kevin, but not all heroes wear capes. But yeah, no, you did mention your parents came by every day.
And he basically came by pretty much every day too, while working a full-time job. And he would like go out of his way to find me the specific drink I wanted and come up in the middle of a heat wave. And he, like me, is not a great fan of the heat. He'd come up, he got stuck in the metro for half an hour coming up one day. He really made a point of coming almost every day if it was possible, which was really nice because I usually don't see him that much. So here's a tip: if you want to see your sibling more, get hospitalized.
Get cancer.
Get cancer, see your friend.
That's very nice. Thank you, Kevin, on behalf of everyone. I nominated your mom for Mom of the Century, and now we're going to also nominate Kevin as Bro of the Century.
We're still only 22 years into the century, though. So, I mean, they might get some competition in the next 78.
Nah, pretty sure they're good.
Yeah, I agree.
I even saw you had coffee with your friend from your childhood the other day. She sent me a photo.
Did she now? I did.
She said it was my fault you had a drink. I didn't quite understand why.
I thought she said it was your fault that I had cancer.
Ta-da! Practical joke.
As I was saying, if you want to see people you don't see very often, get cancer. And a childhood friend that I hadn't seen for probably 20 years got in touch through the Having a Ball Instagram page, I think. Mm-hmm. And then I had coffee. Woo! Wasn't that a fun story?
That is a fun story. It's very nice. So the moral of the story, if we switch it over to some serious stuff for a second, is don't wait until people get cancer to reach out and have a coffee.
Oh, that's a better moral than what I said, yeah. What he said.
Well, do it when they have cancer as well, but but with other friends.
Yeah, speaking of coffee, it's the first one I had in a couple of months.
How was it?
It was very nice. Because since I've had the heartbeat going pretty fast, nobody told me not to drink coffee. I think I'm allowed to, but I just figured, maybe it won't be the smartest thing to drink a lot of. But it's slowed down a bit now, my heartbeat. I'm still at like 90 at resting, which is still pretty high, but it's better than the 130 it was a couple of weeks ago. So I permitted myself an espresso.
Had you missed it? Did you feel like, oh, this is something
Well, I like having coffee a lot, but I'm not obsessed with it to the point where I have to have it every day. At the same time, I'll easily have like 6 on the terrace one afternoon, and then none for 5 days. So hard to say if I actually missed it.
By the way, have you gotten a lot of feedback about the gross levels of the previous episode? Considering we mentioned every bodily fluid under the sun.
Well, somebody did write me the other day saying it was funny because I guess she was listening on a podcast app just to the audio, and she said it was weird walking around doing my shopping, listening to you talk about your bodily fluids.
Because I've had several saying it was very nice and very funny, but I had to turn it off at some point because I got too nauseous.
Aw. Well, we haven't even talked about any bodily fluids this week, so
yet.
I hope those people are still here for the moment.
Anywho, how's it going, Joe?
Well, it's going pretty good because the last episode we recorded, two and a half weeks ago, I was still in my cell at the Shuv, or my room at the Shuv, sorry. And I stayed there another 5 nights after that, I think. Yeah, we recorded on the Sunday, I got it on the Friday, and it was weird because I felt pretty much fine all that week. And still had to stay in the hospital, had various tests done. And then finally, on the Friday afternoon, Friday at 1, I was actually like counting the hours down for the last 3 days.
Yeah.
And 15 minutes early, my mom got me there to break me out, so to speak. And we left.
Nice.
And it was great. Just on the highway, I was like, wow, this is so great. What a beautiful view. Just because I was for the first time in a month and a half seeing something else than outside of my hospital window.
Are you saying you're now constantly at a stage where you appreciate the small things in life?
Nah, that lasted about 5 minutes.
By the way, is that a stash I see?
It is. There is hair coming back.
Well, aren't you Magnum PI fantastic? That's beautiful.
Yeah. I've actually already shaved it once.
Ooh.
My hair on my head is still pretty short, but I think my scalp is getting darker, apparently.
Remember, I think we discussed this last year on the pod, and it's not, we're not talking about me, but remember when I was ill in London?
So we are talking about you.
Yeah, just for a second.
Okay, but keep it short.
Point is, I had to go on steroids to keep my my breathing canals open for a week. Worst week of my life. And my beard turned black. And I don't have a black beard. I have a blonde beard. So maybe they gave you some drugs that turn... Maybe you get like a big black fro now when it grows back.
I'm up for it.
You'll be the missing member of the Jackson 5.
So I'd be Michael, you mean, right now?
Dead?
Well, he's the missing one, so I guess I have to replace him.
That's true. I mean, your name is Joseph, and that was the name of the dad.
Nice guy by all accounts.
Sure. Anyway, we fell into a Jackson 5 loophole here. What am I saying? Let's get back to the cancer.
Yes, you were saying maybe they gave me steroids which would change the color of my hair.
Not necessarily steroids, just any sort of drugs.
They gave me lots and lots of drugs.
Well, yeah.
Right after coming out of the hospital, my mom went to the pharmacy to pick up my prescription, which was like an arm's length, and had 650 francs worth of stuff to pick up. Luckily, I'm insured. And so every morning I have to take about 10 or 11, I can't remember, different drugs. And then another one at noon, and then a few more in the evening. So yeah, lots and lots of drugs here.
These are all pills you're talking about, right?
They're all pills, yeah. Well, that's the nice thing, is I don't have to give myself the blood thinner shots anymore. I get blood thinner pills.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got a little, my dad lent me a little, I don't know what you call it in English, a thing to put your different pills in for each day of the week. And I don't know how well you can see this, but there's lots of pills in there. I can use it as a maracas also.
Do you think there's such a thing as a pill blender? Like a tiny blender? Let's say you have 11 pills and you're sick of swallowing 11 hard pills. You can just put them in a tiny little and then mix it with some something and then just drink it.
That's not a stupid idea, which is surprising coming from you.
That's true. Although don't drink it with milk. That's the only thing we've learned from your cancer. My dad telling everyone don't have any medicine or pills or drugs with milk because milk will fuck up the mojo.
Even if it's like yak milk?
Because you very often have a glass of yak milk.
A nice glass. I believe, from what I've heard, it's pink and thick.
Sounds gross.
Hey, it's not a bodily fluid of mine we're talking about for once, so that's good.
It's a very fine line between yak and yuck.
This is true.
But is it drinkable? Is it like, do people who have yaks drink yak milk?
I believe they do.
Gonna have to get to the bottom of this. Anywho, you made a plan like you always do for this episode.
And you fuck it up.
I still to this day probably, and I have never looked at that list ever.
That's what I figured.
Well, it says jailbreak. Your mom got you out. She was Sean Connery. You were Catherine Zeta-Jones. It was an entrapment. And you both got off safe and sound.
That's true. And then like 2 hours later, I went to play petanque.
Cool.
It was quite nice just to be out in the fresh air, to see some friends.
How was your throwing abilities?
Well, I played pretty well. It was, but I could tell that my arm muscles were weaker than usual.
Are there different weight categories on the balls, like with bowling?
Yeah, there are. And I happen to have brand new balls that good friends of mine just gave me. And they're extra heavy. I had them made specifically for me, and they weigh, if this speaks to anybody, 765 grams each.
Why were they made extra heavy?
Because I got big balls.
Yeah, but was it like a reason? Did you ask for it?
Yeah, I asked for it. Do you really want me to go into specifics?
No, I want you to... It's an elevator pitch me this shit. We have impatient listeners.
Well, because it's harder to knock it out of the way, technically, if it's slightly heavier. And it's quite small also in diameter.
Isn't that considered cheating?
No.
Okay.
I'm still within the norms you're allowed. I could actually even have it slightly heavier, and it would still be all right.
So I'm going to take a quick look at the schedule. It says portable oxygen machine.
Yes, so that's the thing. I'm free from the hospital, and I don't have the tube in my nose like I did for the last episode. But I actually had to leave with a little... It looks like a little suitcase, a little carry-on suitcase for the plane. But it's actually an oxygen machine. So I thought I would have something that has an oxygen tank, but it doesn't. It actually just filters the oxygen out of the air.
Really?
Meaning it has a filter with holes, and oxygen isn't the same size as the other gases in the air, so it only lets the oxygen molecules through and then sends them on to me.
So it's like an air purifier thing?
Basically, but it's purer than air, because you wouldn't want to actually in reality just breathe oxygen all the time.
That sounds like a super cool machine.
Well, it is quite, and I only need to use it when I'm like walking around or going upstairs. which is a little bit silly because going upstairs, the fact that I have to carry it makes me need it even more.
Can't you just put it in your backpack that you always carry?
Nah, it's bigger. It's really the size of a small suitcase.
Okay, so you're constantly looking like a traveling salesman.
Kinda, yeah. But then I can turn it off whenever I get somewhere. I can turn it off pretty much immediately, and just breathe normally like now.
Does it make a whole lot of sound?
Not really. You can sort of hear it breathing a little bit, but it's not as loud as I am.
Is it like having a creepy guy breathing down your neck at all times? Like... No?
No. Because it's down at my foot level, so at worst it's like having a creepy dog breathing at your ankles, maybe.
That's even worse.
I had to give him a name because I haven't seen Philippe in a bit, so I called him John.
John?
Because oxygen.
Cancer really has taken a toll on your sense of humor.
Well, anyway, not much I can do about that. The day after my even the day of, the day I got out was the end of the local film festival, the NIF, Neuchâtel International Fantastic Film Festival, that I usually work at every year. So I'm kind of bummed to not have been there this year. But I was able to go and have a few drinks with some friends. Took oxygen with me, and it was kind of nice.
You had alcohol?
I had a beer that day, yeah, but I have it in writing that I'm allowed to have alcohol.
Okay.
Not too much alcohol, of course.
How did your body react to that? So normal then?
Yeah, basically. It reacted perfectly fine because I only had like 2 beers, 2 small beers even.
But you might have had a system that's been shut for a while, so it could have had a bigger reaction than normal.
I guess, but I didn't. Maybe if I had 5 more, who knows?
All right, that's good.
And then I did have to go back to the SHUV, to the hospital in Lausanne, just exactly a week ago.
Was that like returning to a scene of a crime? Was that like horrible?
No, really, it was kind of nice. So just walking through there and realizing I'm not dressed as a patient and I'm not going up to the room and I can just do what I want, kind of. So no, it was not really horrible.
Is there a chance that you're still in a coma and all of this is just a dream?
Well, it would be more of a nightmare since you're here.
Funny.
What
if this is some sort of variation of, I don't know, Shutter Island meets Truman Show meets...
Dumb and Dumber?
Yes. That is us, actually.
It could be, but in any case, that might all be in a simulation, that we're all a simulation anyway. Also, so... Why are we even doing this?
I mean, it's going on in your head. You're dreaming this. We're just on summer break, the rest of us.
But then I wake up and I don't have any new followers.
That's true. What if you wake up and we're still at episode 208, and you're like, I could have sworn we recorded 2 episodes, one from the hospital, one from home, where I wore an orange T-shirt, etc., and it never happened.
We could actually have only done the pilot episode, and things went wrong after the first chemo last year.
Viewers, listeners, ask yourselves: have you ever really watched this show? Are you watching it right now? Is this real? Am I real? Are you real? Anywho.
I can't tell if you're trying to be Kevin McAllister or a painting by Edvard Munch.
I'm pretty sure Kevin McAllister's look was based on Scream by Edvard Munch.
Did you know what it's a painting of, though?
Yes, you taught me that. The thing is not the scream, but the reaction to a scream.
That's exactly right.
Which is so disappointing.
Yeah, he's hearing it in the background somewhere.
But if you hear a scream, will you do like that?
Probably.
Unless you've just watched Home Alone?
Probably depends on the scream. Like some of the ones...
So you didn't do it there. We've lost it. Officially, we've lost it. But yeah, you went back to the SHUV, sorry.
Yeah, and I saw Drew Barrymore. I somehow wanted to make a Scream reference, and I didn't come up with one, so I was like, hey, let's just say Drew Barrymore.
She died in the very beginning.
She did. The franchise went downhill from there, didn't it?
1995, I want to say? No, 1997?
I'd say 7. Thanks for tuning in to Andreas and Joseph Mention Years. 1991.
So, but anyway, you went back to the SHUV, you saw Drew Barrymore, which was odd.
It was odd. Although, I could have seen Keanu Reeves. His sister was at the SHUV, was treated at the SHUV a while ago.
Why?
An illness, I would guess.
Why was she in Switzerland? Does she live there?
You have to ask. No, I don't know. I shouldn't have brought it up. You know the sad Keanu meme? Sitting on his bench looking all sad, eating a sandwich?
Yeah.
I think that was filmed in Switzerland, taken in Switzerland, but I might be completely wrong.
I've had a sad sandwich in Switzerland.
You did? I thought you were happy the whole time. Was it just lies?
Well, I put on a brave face for a brave buddy.
Freedom! Oh, I thought you said brave heart. Sorry.
Well, you do have a brave heart because your heart has been through a lot. And it's still here, brave as ever.
Yeah, it's still ticking away for the moment. And so I went back to the Shuv, and it was basically just for a checkup, because as the doctor said, well, we've seen you every day for 47 days. It's going to be weird not to see you, so come back next week to see how things are doing and have some blood taken. So they continue monitoring me. So I had blood taken, and apparently all the numbers were pretty good. My platelets were up, and my hemoglobin was up, and people were happy. And then I had a scan again downstairs, which was the fastest one ever. I think it might be because it was the end of the day and the technician wanted to leave. But I walked in and I was like...
When you're saying downstairs, you mean in your body or in the basement of the hospital?
Well, it wasn't even the basement, but lower in the hospital. It was...
Fourth floor.
Yeah, fifth floor, actually. It was a scan of my lungs, though, which I don't actually know the results of. It was just for the pulmonary doctors, so they can have a new one when I see them next week.
So it was for their weekly break room quiz.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Absolutely. And so I went back, and now I've got another week before I have to go back again.
Do you know anything about operations?
Nope, not yet. I'll find that out.
So you know nothing?
You wanted me to say Jon Snow. I know that. I was just leaving a dramatic...
I don't know the reference.
I was leaving a dramatic pause, and you screwed it up.
I know nothing. I'm from Barcelona. But so you literally don't know anything.
Well, I know that they want the lungs to clear up first, and so that I can breathe normally. And then beginning of August, I'll be seeing my oncologist again. And then we'll discuss what's very likely going to be the next step, which is probably an operation of the lungs to get that tumor out of there.
When I said, so you literally don't know anything, I just wanted to I wanted you to say John Lennon was shot in 1980 or something like that, just as a reference to, something.
I do know something. I thought he died in 1981 though, so that's not something I knew.
So you don't know anything.
Damn it.
Damn it all to hell.
Otherwise, I've also had to go see a physiotherapist. Started going twice a week to see a physiotherapist, and I do very little exercise with her, and I get exhausted after it because I'm weak. I'm very weak.
Everyone, if this looks different, we had a little technical setback a second ago there because Joseph's phone got too hot.
Well, it's probably because it's 34 degrees out here.
Yeah, and you have plenty of fans in the room, but none of them are turned on.
I bet that turned on a lot of our fans.
It turned them off, actually.
I would imagine.
I had time to get some chocolate milk.
So like cow milk or yak milk?
Definitely yak.
But what I did start saying was that I've been going to the physiotherapist, and it's exhausting. I'll do 5 minutes of exercises and really feel my legs. I can tell that they've lost a lot of muscle.
Are you lying on a table and being flipped and wheelied and turned and whatever?
No, it's really like doing a stationary bike and then doing balance exercises and strengthening exercises. It's mostly just to get my muscles back. Even though I didn't have very big muscles, they were useful, apparently.
So you are famously known for your decent balance. Have you lost any of your balance?
No, it's not the balancing that's really the problem, but when you're balancing on one leg on a surface that isn't necessarily very hard, it's hard on the muscles. That I can tell.
That's what she said.
Did she? Did she really?
The physiotherapist. You perv.
It was not even that's what,
hard on your muscles.
Yeah. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch. Now that's what she said.
She says a lot of things, but it's in French, so nobody understands her.
Yeah, it's in French. That's a bit of a le stretch.
Vraiment?
Non.
D'accord. Anywho.
But so other than the 2 times half an hour of exercise with the physiotherapist, I've been walking quite a lot. I mean, nothing like I would usually walk, but walking a couple of, like, probably 5, 6, 7,000 steps a day.
Carrying your portable air
Well,
thingy.
pulling him, and I try to mostly go on flat surfaces, and that's not too exhausting at all.
So you don't need the thingy when you're walking on flat surfaces?
Well, yeah, I still use it, but it's not really that exhausting, and I've been trying to basically stay on flat surfaces and not go up any steep hills, like the one to my place.
So essentially you're pulling your air and you're pushing your luck.
Something like that. That sounds about right.
All right, cool.
And other than that, I've been chilling out quite a lot, taking it easy, reading lots of books, and eating a lot, so that's good. After having eaten for like 3 weeks through a tube at the hospital, my appetite sure has come back.
Yeah, your mom said your appetite is off the charts.
Yeah, one could say that. I've been eating a ton, which is rather nice.
Has anything changed in terms of what you like or taste, or like, is there anything you don't like?
I only eat raw dogs now. I have this weird craving, but other than that, everything is pretty much normal.
As a proper Swiss person, you eat dog at every meal.
That was your Swiss accent, I take it?
Yes, Scottish Swiss. It's the new fusion combo that everyone seems to enjoy.
So it's like squish?
Yes, squish balls.
This is getting out of hand again.
I think we both have a lack of oxygen. You have a tank right next to you that you can plug into anytime.
Yeah, it's not even in the room. I probably should have brought it just in case. But anyway, I don't know. We've now, as you said, I've got a list of what we want to talk about, and we're almost at the end
We're almost at the end.
of the list. There is one thing that finishes with a big exclamation point. I
Yes.
should maybe let you talk about it.
All right. This is some big news, people.
We promised big news last week, or last episode at least. We said there'd be a surprise coming, and this is it.
This is the surprise. I've been pulling some strings, doing some work, tiddling, tattling, twinkling, binkling. None of those words are words. Anywho, from the very beginning, we said that we wanted to turn this into more than just a stupid podcast about bodily fluids. I don't know if we've released it when we released this episode, or it's coming up, but if it hasn't been released yet, it's just around the corner.
It's imminent.
Yes, an imminent arrival of greatness. We have started a web store where we're selling Having a Ball merch, because you've both seen us wearing hats, but you've seen him wearing t-shirts and hoodies with Having a Ball on it, and now I've been designing a bunch of stuff that's coming in the web store. And that is not the coolest part. The coolest part about the whole thing is that for every purchase, the majority of the proceeds will go to cancer research. So it's essentially you giving money to a charity for a good cause, and you're also getting awesome pieces of clothing.
So that means we close the store as soon as cancer is cured, right?
But sure, no. I want this to be a huge brand. I want to get people to... I want all of you to buy it, not to give us money, but to give money to cancer research. I want you to promote this thingy to make it grow even more. We want to...
That's what she said.
But yeah, it's going to be awesome. And we have a bunch of products, and there's more coming, and it's going to be very, very cool. And we want to have like competitions, etc. Take a photo of yourself in your new Having a Ball hoodie, for instance, at the top of a mountain or whatever you...
Or at your urologist's office.
Yeah. It's gonna be really cool. And it comes in all sizes, all colors, etc., etc. It's very cool.
It will be indeed. And hopefully it'll, again, I was just talking about the urologist, remind people to check themselves, which I'm doing now. Remember to fondle your testicles to see if everything's all right down there.
Yes, test your testes. So yeah, make sure, we'll plug this again and again and again, but make sure to buy merch. And I'm just saying now, we'll mention this again, but each item is custom made for you. So when you press order, for instance, hoodie sized medium.
Andreas starts sewing.
Yeah. No, it's custom made for you. So if it turns out it was the wrong size and you want to return it and either get your money back or swap it for a different size, then that means we have a leftover piece of clothing, because the people who make it, they don't care that you want to swap it. They have to be paid again. So that means a refund, or you can just be nice and donate what you got wrong to somebody else, spread the joy, give more money to cancer research, buy another one in the right size, just so I don't have to buy like a warehouse of exchanged goods.
Yeah. And it's good to note that when cancer is solved, I mean, the people not wearing having a ball t-shirts are going to look pretty stupid.
That is so 2022, man. That used to be a thing, man.
What? You didn't contribute to curing cancer? Ew, get out of my sight.
Yeah, and while we're on this subject, like I said in one of the solo episodes, if you want to help with turning this into more than just now a charity-based web store and a podcast, if we wanted to get more out there in terms of creating, for instance, a petanque tournament, and then bowling and tennis and golf and all sorts of stuff where you give the proceeds to charity, then reach out. Give us a holler saying I am up for it. My English is bad, but my heart is big. Something like that.
Absolutely. If you have your own podcast and have like 20 million viewers, buy a t-shirt, wear it on the podcast.
Good plan. Yeah. So when the web store is open, bring the whatever you buy around to other people, have them wear it, take a photo, spread the joy, spread the word, and then we'll give a whole lot of money to cancer research.
Sounds like a plan indeed.
Also, me and Joe will figure out what charities to donate to. We haven't quite figured out the plan. Maybe it's like a different charity each month or each quarter, or one overall one. We want to spread the joy, spread the wealth.
We'll, of course, let you know where the money's going.
Yes. And we will document, obviously, this amount of money has been raised for, etc., etc.
So hopefully that'll be a huge amount.
Yes, that will be cool. All right, do you have anything more to say, Giuseppe Barnesso?
I don't really. I'm going to continue doing what I said, which is chilling out for a bit and probably eat a pile of food in a bit. And that's about it. Go to see the physiotherapist tomorrow. And other than that, yeah, I think we're reaching the end of the line here, the end of the episode at least.
All right. You warrior poet, you Scotsman, you squishy, sweaty man. Thank you for once again spending an hour in my presence. That has made you significantly dumber, I know.
Yeah, it's I can't get much dumber though anymore, so I guess there's that.